Good morning, RGLtv, and welcome to the Dragon Warrior 3 randomizer race. With you this morning, myself, Ryguy. Also joining me, not on comms, but joining me in the race, Zatrex and Vriaeliss. And this morning, we are going to introduce you to Dragon Warrior 3, but all mixed up like you've never seen it before, with a healthy dose of memes and fun stuff too, because when you're playing randomizer early in the morning, you need some memes, you need some fun stuff. This is traditionally known as Caturday, because I typically run this on Saturday mornings, nice and early every Saturday morning. So this is kind of the regular routine, and yeah, when you're doing this early in the morning, you need a little fun, so you gotta mix in a little bit of silliness with it too. So we are going to ready up. We'll explain the silliness as we go, but the first thing we're gonna see here in just a second as we get this race rolling here, is our hero's age. If you remember the original game, you'll remember this is your hero. There's a little text at the beginning that says your hero's 16 years old, and we decided we're going to randomize that too. So we like to say we get old geezers going out to save the world, or sometimes we get young children and we decide the king has decided to send off a little child sacrifice to the evil overlords. So we will see what we get. It's just a cosmetic change, but it just adds a little, again, silliness and kind of fun to the whole thing. So we are just counting down our race and about to begin. And there you go, we got everyone likes a good old child sacrifice, but this one we are 71, and the sprites are randomized based on the age. I always like this one because we look pretty darn good for 71. I mean, I don't know if I look that good right now, but it's 71. If I look like that at 71, man, oh man, something has gone right. This is probably one of the longer intros in the beginning of the game, so you know, we have to go talk to the king. I always like to check to see if I have a spell. I never do. We kind of know what our heroes start with, but I always wonder what would happen if you could return out of this. That's one of the fun things with Rando, with everything mixed up. You can do some silly stuff the game's not expecting you to do, and I always wonder what would happen if you returned out of this little thing, but never seen it, so one day. But we're gonna go to the bar. The king of Vriaeliss just very famously gives us a couple bucks, tells us to go to the bar and find some people, the eatery, but tells us to go to the bar and find some people to fight with and go save the world. So he gives us 20 bucks and sends us to the bar and tells us to go save the world. He's maybe not the best at planning, but it's fine. It does work out. It will work out. So as I'm grabbing my people, these people here, we usually go with the traditional soldier, wizard, and pilgrim. It's a good mix between spells and the randomized equipment you're gonna get. So kind of messed around with some other classes, but they just don't really have enough equipment, and the other classes can't cast spells, which when we get to it, we'll mention are going to be really important in this randomizer run. I'm going to check the item shop. Interested in mainly an echoing flute. Of course, very important in this because we don't know where the orbs are. In a vanilla regular run, you wouldn't care about the echoing flute, but here we definitely do. And then also looking for stuff that might, equipment that might be good. The higher priced value, you can actually see the power there, but the higher price something is, the stronger it is. Typically early on we can't afford anything really big, but we're looking for like stuff that has spells attached to it. So right away you can see this is not your regular Dragon Warrior 3 map. The locations are almost completely random. There's a few parameters, but you can see you just have anything anywhere. So we come out of the castle, we come out of Vriaeliss, and we have everything. Not everything, we have a lot of stuff to look at right away. Very different than what you see when you come out of the regular game. Now, in addition to the AoE stuff, oh, there you go, there's one. Snowblast Sword will cast a spell. Those are random. Nice little Falcon Sword spot in there, too. The spell strengths are also random, so we don't know if it's good or not, but at the moment, our characters are not strong, so we'll probably take whatever spell that Snowblast Sword has attached to it. The other big item we're looking for, what makes this Caturday, we are looking around for the animal suit. When you equip the animal suit, it will turn your character into an adorable little kitty, and you're gonna win the game as cats, basically, is what we're gonna try to do. Oops. I had to look here for Echoing Flute, is why I say oops. There's one item shop here. No weapon shops, but there's one item shop here. And it does not have an Echoing Flute, so. Alright. So our goal here, as we kind of get, well, our goal is just getting established here, right? But our goal here is to try to find 6 orbs. We're going to need 6 orbs to wake up the legendary bird Lamia, and that allows us to fly into Baramos' castle. So we're on the hunt for 6 orbs. They can be pretty much anywhere in the world, which again is why that Echoing Flute is so important. If we get our hands on the Echoing Flute, then we just dive any dungeons that we hear an echo, and that's that. If we can't, then we just have to dive places randomly, you know, play the odds based on, you know, volume game, but that can get pretty lengthy pretty quickly. So, good news is this game has a lot of item shops in it, so the odds, and not that many items, so the odds of running into an Echoing Flute are very, very high. Running into one eventually are very, very high. So at the moment, what I'm going to do, I haven't found an Echoing Flute yet, so I can't really use that to guide me, but I think I want to go into a kind of more advanced dungeon and try, with like higher level enemies, and try to use this, hope the Snowblast Sword can do some damage, and maybe shoot me up to very, very high levels very quickly. So we will see if we can do that. Of course, the flip side is this Snowblast Sword might not be good. And the other side is I might get killed before I can even use the thing. So, doesn't look like there's too much in the way of higher level dungeons here, though. Oh, hey. So this is that Lamia Shrine. This is where we'll have to take our 6 orbs eventually. So that's a good place to find, right? We have to know where to take all the stuff once we found it. So that's kind of convenient. We don't have any of this stuff yet. Hopefully that's going to change, of course. But, whoops, there's nothing over there, was there? But once we do find the stuff, we are good to go. So it looks like there's no higher level dungeons really running around. The pyramid that you saw down below literally looked like a little pyramid sprite. That was the highest level dungeon, but it's a relative one. That's if you remember the regular game. That's where you get the magic key, like on the 2nd continent. So it's a little further along, but not that much further along. Alright, this meanwhile is our first tower in the vanilla games. This is relatively safe. And that's exactly what happens in this game. Literally the first seconds I say relatively safe, dead. That is pretty much how this goes. That is exactly how this goes. Like I said, relatively safe, huh? Yep, that is how it works. There's the randomization in full effect, right? Our first enemies were just, what in regular game would have been completely harmless, mostly harmless, spiked hairs, and see you later. You know what? Let's see if that means we're supposed to go to the pyramid. Let's find. Maybe that's what the game was trying to tell me, yeah? Really, I should be here. Don't go to that place. You really should be here. That's probably what it was trying to tell me. Let's see. Lightning's a pretty powerful spell. We don't have any MP to cast it yet. Okay. So that's decent AoE, right? Being able to hit everything for 100 is pretty solid. And there you go. We'll get some experience for, a lot of experience for just our hero, apparently. No one else will get it. We do have to sit through all the level ups. As we sit through the level ups, I'll mention what we're really looking for, and it's kind of very interesting. The one thing that I'm really looking for from these level ups is just HP. There's a little quirk that we'll see at the end of the game. Our final boss can get hit with any spell. It's not exactly how it's supposed to be, but that's how it is. So, really things like strength don't really matter. I mean, MP, I guess, matters to some extent. But once we find strong spells, when we get to the end of the game, the final boss, we're just going to be throwing spells at him. And, yeah. He's gonna be He's actually going to be one of the easier things to kill in this. So, okay, that's cursed. So yeah, the things like strength don't really matter in this. You really, mostly it's the HP, so that you can survive his attacks. That's really where the trouble can start. He still packs quite a punch, so you need to be able to survive his attacks. But oh, there's a really powerful sword. There we go. That's also one of the other things the randomizer does. Since the weapon powers are randomized, you wouldn't otherwise know what's strong, what's not strong, and such. But whoops. Ooh. Okay, I can't cast any of these. Get out of here. Since the weapons are randomized, it would be kind of a pain. Let's see if we can get this. They're worth a lot, right? There we go. Ooh. 1 HP in a dream. Okay. It would be kind of a pain to like go check every single weapon to see if it's good. You got to go into your equip screen and equip it and see what it does. So one of the things that was added to this randomizer was just that little text there, of course, telling you how strong something is. So that's a huge quality of life thing, right? So you don't have to keep on trying and checking things over and over and over again. You just automatically know if something's good or not. As I mentioned earlier, you can kind of tell from the price. If you're buying it in a shop, you can tell from the price. Things more expensive are going to be better in general. But, I mean, there's so many items we got in our treasure chest here that it would just be such a pain to check. So that's one of the very nice quality of life things that this randomizer does, is it puts in the attack power and defense power for you. Alright, so, I don't know, we're going through the pyramid apparently. There's nothing guaranteed to be in the pyramid, but there's a lot of treasure chests, so a lot of chances to potentially get orbs out of here. We currently have 0 out of the 6 orbs that we need, and that is, yeah, 0 is not enough as it turns out, so. Now, there's also a whole bunch of progression items, too. Like any Dragon Warrior game, you like keys, and there's various little MacGuffins that help you advance plot lines that open up new checks as well. So, you know, those are out there as well, of course, but mostly we're looking for orbs here. One thing about the pyramid is that we are going to need a magic key to complete it. You can find the magic key within the pyramid. I mean, you could find any magic key or the final key in the pyramid, but there's no guarantee it's here. So if we don't find the magic key, we'll have to do an about face and walk out. It looks like this first continent only has the 2 dungeons, this pyramid here, and then your traditional starting, it's called Promontory Cave and Tower of Najima. So if we don't find anything here that allows us to do some big skips, we'll have to go through the kind of regular old way, getting the Thief's Key and Magic Ball out of the tower, and then going through the cave to the second continent, the kind of regular old way. Usually, again, the randomizer gives you a lot of options. Sometimes you can get, you know, late game items early, of course, and start skipping around and doing all kinds of non-intended things, but unless we find some of those here, we're gonna have to go the intended route, which is fine, but I mean, you know, I'm not playing randomizer to go the intended route, come on. We're playing randomizer to do all kinds of silly things that weren't intended. So we'll see if we can find something here that lets us do some skipping around. Otherwise, we'll have to go through the regular way, which it's not bad, but. All right, you can see the volume of treasure chests, and yeah, without an echoing flute, there you go. There's a halfway decent shield. Without an echoing flute, we kind of are just, you know, running around hoping that we find something good in the high volume dungeons. This one's definitely a high volume one, and there's even going to be 2 that we're not able to get to because we don't have the magic key yet. So already been a lot of chances. We haven't really hit well on any of the chances yet. I mean, I guess that shield was fine, but for the most part, nah. For the most part, this pyramid's been meh. Which I mean, again, obviously, without an echoing flute, who knows? So you can kind of see how the echoing flute's a really big, important item that we'd like to find as soon as possible. It's kind of why at the beginning I was doing all the checks of all the item shops, hoping to find it, because that little bit of guidance, actually a lot bit of guidance that it gives is really, really important. Really helpful. Alright, so these are going to be our last 2 treasure checks up here. Unless we find a key, or unless someone decided to learn the open spell. Because our Pilgrim and Wizard did gain some levels, and the open spell does exist in this game, so it's something we might find. Unless one of those 2 things happen, we'll have to just walk out of here and, and go, well, yeah, go check somewhere else, which is going to have to be that tower we were in before. I think there might be some area to the south of this, right? I didn't see too much to the south of the pyramid, so it's possible there's some stuff to the south, actually, too. I believe the only healing I have at the moment is this Ring of Life, so we'll heal the best way we can. All right, let's see if we get something interesting up here, or if we're on our way out of here. Oh. That's not going to help move us anywhere, but whoops. But that is a pretty good defensive piece of gear. Oh my. 123 is a fairly big number, huh? Let's give that to our soldier. Okay, so you know, those are pretty solid. I like to say consolation prizes. Oh, we did get some healing there. No. Nope, no open spell, no keys, so we'll have to walk out. That's okay. Pretty decent consolation prizes there, though, right? We got a pretty good piece of defensive gear. And we got a really good weapon, yeah? So, you know, nothing required, but certainly some things that are nice to have. This walkout is kind of but I wish I didn't have to do it, but again, we got some good things out of this, I suppose, so. The defensive gear is kind of amusing because one of the memes I was talking about earlier is that we always look for animal suits. We try to become cats. Even if the animal suit is bad, I'll always take it because I always joke the end of this game doesn't really care what your defense is anyway. So is your defense good? Is your defense bad? It doesn't matter. It matters to some extent, but it doesn't matter. Some of the enemies at the end of the game... Oh, nothing there. Okay. Like to just body you incessantly, so now. And like I mentioned too earlier, when we get to the final boss, the defense isn't gonna matter because we're just gonna pummel him with spells before he knows what happened. So, all right, so we're back in this tower again. This is another classic staple of randomizer, right? The place you have to go ends up killing you, right? But it was really this or pyramids. It wasn't a huge choice or whatever, but all right, so in here we are at least guaranteed to find the Thief's Key and the magic ball, and we need that to proceed on to the second continent the regular way. It is still possible we could find something in here that allows us to go, you know, some sort of unintended direction in the game, but I think it's most likely at this point that we're just going to get that Thief's Key and magic ball and go through the kind of regular way, which, again, it's fine. It's a little disappointing, though, because it's always so much fun to just go off the rails, but alas, alas. Right. Well, so far, this is a relatively short tower, too. There's not too much to it. Not too many treasure chests in it either, though, which is why it's usually one I don't like to do first, just because of the lack of treasure chests. But... oh. Okay. These ones were the safe bunnies, right? You gotta be careful, safe bunnies versus scary bunnies. Okay. We also have a few levels now, so we should probably be going before these enemies do and all that, so... Okay. Oh, well there you go, actually. That is one of the items that we need to, we can use to potentially go a completely unintended direction. So, I'm going to finish up this tower in just a second, then we're going to take advantage of that, take full advantage of that. Okay. there's one more item to get. This is where in the regular game you would get the Thief's Key from. It's from an old man just hanging out at the top of the tower waiting to give us something. There's definitely nothing weird about that. It's fine. We'll just take the item and be on our way. I have no... Oh, yeah, okay, yep. Old man at the top of the tower who has some demonic armor he wants to give us. Yep, there's that perfectly normal in this world. Yep, don't worry about it. Everything is that's just how this world is, apparently. A lot of old people at the top of towers trying to give you demonic, totally not cursed items. Don't worry about it. Just put this on. Nah, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. Whoops. Oh, is this... No, this is the wrong one. So we got that Royal Scroll, and that grants us access through, well, I just call it Royal Scroll Cave, which I suppose is fairly obvious that the Royal Scroll would get you through Royal Scroll Cave. But it gets you through this one right here. This is where the dwarf Norud will open up a secret passage for you. And of course, normally, as you remember, or may remember from the vanilla game, you'd have to, you know, go to Portoga to... Oh, I can't do this, can I? I never got the Thief's Key. I always forget about that door. Whoops. Normally, you'd have to go to the... It's okay, we can go fetch the Thief's Key really quickly. Always forget about that door. Always forget about that door. Always go out the door because usually by the time we get there, we'd have the Thief's Key, right? So, at least the Thief's Key. So, I always space out on that door because it's usually not a big deal, except here, we're doing things all kinds of out of order. So, it is a deal in this case. Always forget about that door. But yes, normally in the game, you'd have to go like all the way out to Portoga and have the king request this and give you the scroll and such. But of course here, in Randomizer, you can just find the scroll. Oh, hey, that's one of the things that we needed. How about that? Well, I guess it's a good thing I forgot about that Thief's Key, huh? Hey, I would have eventually circled around to this and checked this, but hey, we got one of the things we needed. How about that? I guess that makes up for being blizzarded out of that tower earlier, huh? Okay, so the Thief's Key is guaranteed to be somewhere in this whole... This cave connects back to the tower, so it's guaranteed to be somewhere in this whole complex. I was going to skip the cave because we were ready to just go through Royal Scroll Cave until, well, as you saw, I remembered. I need a key to get through Royal Scroll Cave, so... But yes, Royal Scroll Cave grants us access to actually the third continent. So we're going to be able to skip from Continent 1 straight over to Continent 3. And my big goal here, of course, is to hopefully find some kind of echoing flute. That's kind of why I wanted to avoid this. I wanted to go to Continent 3, hopefully find more towns, more item shops, to hopefully get a hold of that echoing flute, because you know, you can kind of see here, we're just kind of... I don't want to say fumbling, but fumbling around in the darkness, hoping that we stumble across some of these things we need. Whereas if we had the echoing flute, we would just know, like, yes, I have to go here, no, I don't. So, but it turned out there was one of those orbs there. So there's our dragon killer, no good. Okay. So, all right, so that clears everything. Let's try to outtry. These are the guys that blizzarded, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure those were the purple bunnies that blizzarded us. Okay. Okay. So, looking at these levels, and I wasn't mentioning it as they're leveling, but looking at these levels, I think everything looks mostly okay. Again, I'm mostly concerned about the HP and making sure we can survive the attacks that everything, but mainly our final boss is going to be dishing out. And it looks like everyone's getting pretty good HP gains. I feel like the hardest seeds, the most challenging seeds, are the ones where you don't have that HP, and you have to try to figure out, like, how are we gonna survive long enough to win. But here we have that HP, and yeah, we have plenty of. We'll probably by the time we're done here, have plenty of spells to go after the end of the game. Okay, now that I actually have a key for that door, that door that I always forget, now we can skip ahead to Continent 3. This pesky door. These are giant doors, by the way. Feels like overkill. That's a huge door. Alright, so there are 2 treasure chests in here, which of course I'll grab, because we saw any treasure chest can suddenly give you one of the orbs that you need. This is Norud's home, and he's gonna open up a passageway for us once we read him this royal scroll. And he's going to open a passageway up in the most painful way possible. So we're going to go here. This is another one I like to joke about. He's going to open up the secret passage by bashing his head against the wall a whole bunch of times until the wall collapses. Now, I know in lore that's not really what's happening, but I like to think that. We always like to joke that that's not his hair sticking out through his head, through his hat. That's just blood pouring out of his head from headbutting the wall to open it up for us. His headbutt did quite a job, too. Look at that. Look at all it opened up for us there. So, poor Narude headbutting the wall open for us. He's really sacrificing to help this heroic quest along. Okay, so there's actually nothing guaranteed that has to be over here, but one thing we will see is we're going to see some stronger enemies, which means more experience. It also means a fairly decent chance that I'm going to get killed, so we will hope that doesn't happen, obviously. Okay, that's a good start. Hey, there we go. Now that's good, of course, because we're just going to gather up bunches of experience. That actually wasn't even bunches of experience. We're gonna bunch of experience, get some levels quickly, which yeah, very good, very helpful, of course. This game, you can do some silly things with experience. One thing of note, if we see it later, it'll be amazing. But metal babbles, the resistances for metal babbles have been messed with. You can hit metal babbles with spells in this randomizer. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I think my record was 216,000 experience. I think I got like 7 metal babbles once and just found a spell that hit all of them and just wiped them out. And I think it was 216,000, somewhere around that range. We watched a few level up messages after that one. Alright, so nothing guaranteed to be over here, but again, you know, just kind of hoping that we, oh, we have no MP, don't we? Well, just kind of hoping. Oh, there we go. So there's Baramos's castle. You can see we can't walk into it, of course, right? We need the bird to fly into it. So what? Oh, here we go. Here's something. Oh, okay. So this is the House of Pirates, and there are 3 free treasure chests here. There's no dungeon or anything. You can just walk and grab them. So this one, even if we have an echoing flute, we'll usually check anyway, just in case. Gosh, a stairway. Gosh, what's that doing there? Oh, there we go. Okay, another really powerful weapon for that chain. The chain sickle is nice because our pilgrim can equip it. And, of course, nice because it's got a lot of attack power. But dang, there's another golden crown. Okay. Okay, not exactly what I was... I guess we don't need the demonic cursed armor, huh? Not exactly what I was looking for, but again, these things will help. Okay, what do we got here? Alright, that one wasn't good, but 2 out of 3 is pretty good. 2 out of 3 is pretty good. Alright, so we're getting equipped pretty well. I guess we have the 1 orb, but I'd like to make a little more progress on these other orbs that are out there. So this is Dragon Queen's castle. We'll get a little more into that later. We do need a magic key to get in there. That's one of the portal shrines. I like using the portal shrines to, of course, skip around and go to new lands and new continents and stuff, but the problem is portal shrines are going to require final key to use, and we don't have that, so. That was the town of Jaipang. Nothing really there that we can do yet. No towns, no inns even, no item shops, weapon shops, so... that is where our little Orochi side quest, we'll probably see the Orochi, we usually see the Orochi side quest, but if we do the Orochi side quest, we'll see Jaipang pop up again. If not, well, if not, then we won't. Alright, this is the village of Moor, and there's an interesting little potential thing we could maybe do here, we'll see. First of all, there's some shopping we can do, so we'll do that. Still looking for that echoing flute. But there's an extra little funny bit here that we'll look at. Nope. No echoing flutes still. I don't think I guess we'll get that leather shield. I don't think it makes a huge difference, but I think we have some stuff we can sell. Oh, not you, though. Like these rings of life, they were helpful at the beginning because but now not really, so we can get rid of those, I think. I think we're good on those. I'll pick up a couple shields for our people. But there's little, I guess I'll say quirk. Little quirk to the game here. That I'll show in just a second. Here we go. So the backstory behind Moore is that Ortega's I guess our dad that we're looking for. He stopped by this town and he befriended this this kid who in the vanilla game would give you a water gun. In Randomizer, he gives you a random item, which could be an orb actually. And if it's an orb, some silly stuff happens, but okay. So he gave me oh, there it is, a Holy Lance. Okay. Now, the thing that's silly is that we can actually grind to this, and we can take as many as we want. So, I haven't seen an orb back here yet. I know it's possible. But, of course, again, being Randomizer and wondering what silly stuff you can do, I have to wonder if this kid were to have an orb, which I know is theoretically possible, but I haven't seen it yet. If he were to give us an orb, could we just talk to him 6 times and call it a day? It would be awesome, but sadly it didn't happen here. That would have been a real fun one to show, but alas, didn't happen here. So what we can do though is we can gold grind that and get well, not gold grind I guess, we can get a whole bunch of items, and those Holy Lances should sell fairly well, so that's more stuff that I can sell just to top off the gear a little bit. I don't think I really need to, but you know, little extra stuff never hurt, right? You know, just pick up a shield, pick up a weapon for our wizard. I mean, again, I don't know we're gonna be attacking all that much, but and then of course having them kicking around, I guess, for later, you know, doesn't hurt. So magic knife we'll give to. Oops, I didn't sell enough. I was gonna go for a silver shield for our soldier. I thought I sold enough, but I did not. Addition and subtraction are difficult in the morning, but no worries. We've got another Holy Lance we can sell. There you go. Now I could get like actual proper armor, but as I have alluded to several times, I haven't seen it yet, but as I alluded to several times, we are going to be eventually getting animal suits to turn ourselves into cats. So I kind of feel like, what's the point of getting regular armor when I'm going to replace it with animal suits eventually anyway. So that's why I'm not getting regular armor. Oh. Well, okay. Is that everything? Because if that's everything, we are not going to be able to do much on this. Oh, there's a little area. No, that's not where I came from. Okay, it looked kind of similar, but not where I came from. So maybe there's something up here. No, doesn't look like it, huh? Okay, oh, just in time. Heal up. So, we'll of course heal up here, and, I guess just have to go back through the regular old way, huh? Ah, here we go. Oh, now this is actually really good, because let's try a couple spells and see. This should be worth a lot of experience if we can get it. And that might open up, you know, some spells. That might give us some spells that might help us out. Help us to avoid what I was talking about earlier, having to go through the regular way. You can tell I don't want to go through the game the regular way. There's nothing, again, wrong with it, but I mean, come on. I just play the regular game if I wanted to go through it the regular way. We're playing the randomizer here. We want to do things in a funky way. So as we look at these levels and these level ups and such, it's a little early on. I'm a little bit concerned only with like Harley's HP is a little bit on the low side, and that could cause some problems later on. So as we look at these level ups, I'm just looking to see, hopefully they learn a bunch of spells. The more spells they learn, the more chance that we get one of those, you know, open up the entire game kind of spells. Or looking for Harley to get a whole bunch of HP. So As far as opening up the game goes, actually, I think literally the open spell is the one that I'd be looking for. If we were to get the open spell, that would let me start using those portals I was talking about earlier. But without the open spell, yeah, not really gonna be able to do it. The other spells, not yet anyway. The other spells that are just nice are Return and Outside, just for quality of life, right? So you don't have to keep walking out of dungeons, you don't have to keep walking back to towns and things like that, so those are the spells that I'm kind of hoping for. Harley's not doing much on the HP side, so I'm getting more and more concerned with that. But we did get a lot of spells, so let's see if that was anything helpful. Not so far, no. So yeah, we didn't see any open, we didn't see any, oh, okay, this might be worth a lot too. We didn't see any open, we didn't see any outside, we did not see any, return, but we've got some options here. Oh, okay, well, okay. Well, we had some options, and now we are, gonna go home the expressway, it looks like. Maybe not. They're giving us chances, but I can't seem to locate the spell that's gonna get the job done. So, of course, this is the thing, right? I don't really know what spells are gonna work. Because all the resistances are completely randomized, so... Okay. Doesn't look like we're gonna get anywhere here, huh? So we'll just see... Okay, yeah. Now, we did get also, I see Veron got Limbo. Limbo is one of those annoying spells, because Limbo is just gonna send us back to... Or just to send that character back to the eatery, the bar where we started with. So if someone gets limboed, you gotta go fetch them from here, from Aliahan. And it's a little annoying, although in this case it's not too bad because, well, we had to come back here, right? We'd hit a dead end in our continent, so we had to come back here anyway, but... Whoops. Okay, try that again. So yeah, Limbo's not too terrible, it's just annoying. Oh yeah, I forgot that they don't get healed when that happens too, so that's why we saw the screen going green here. I'm just gonna reorder them because I'm just so used to the Pilgrim being in the third spot. I mean, the order I don't believe really makes a big difference in this game, but just out of habit at this point. Okay, let's see. We need to go fetch the magic ball, which is out of Reeve, so let's go there. So yeah, despite the best efforts here, it looks like we are out of options, and we kind of have to go through the regular old intended way. I guess I can swing into the Reeve. I forget what the Reeve shop had, because I was looking for other stuff. Let me just make sure that was, yeah, that was a magic ball that we needed. It is randomized, and so what just happened there was that it basically ended up randomized in its regular location, which of course is always possible. But I just wanted to make sure because, you know, there's always the possibility that that I forgot something, or, you know, so. Wanted to make sure that that really was what we were getting. Alright. Well, there's no option now. We are just, let's just go, Now, the upside here, even though I'm a little sad I was not able to do things, I guess we did some things kind of out of order. They just led to dead ends, unfortunately. The one bit of good news here is that when we go to this second continent, there's usually a whole bunch of locations and towns and dungeons that end up on the second continent, especially since the third continent was empty. Or not empty, I should say, but, you know, led to dead ends. Technically, locations don't have to be anywhere on the first 3 continents, and after the third continent, it just opens up to being anywhere, so you could have random little islands that have things on them and such. But, I think a lot of times that second continent gets a bunch of things on it, especially if the third one doesn't have much, so... I think when we come through this, we're gonna see a whole bunch of locations, is the hope, anyway. So this is the Cave of Enticement. This links the first 2, there's another one of those golden crowns. This links the first 2 continents together in the in this and in the regular game. And so it's not a very long dungeon, but again, it's kind of long enough that I like to skip it if possible. But there are 2 treasure chests in here. I guess I should say there are only 2 treasure chests in here. So it's not likely that there's much in here, which is another reason why I like to skip it. If this place had, like, you know, 10 treasure chests in it or something and connected you through, then you'd be like, great, this is awesome. I get connected to the next continent and I get to open a bunch of treasure chests. But, nah, there's only 2. Again, it's not particularly lengthy, but it's lengthy enough. And, and there you go, there's another one, right? Literally, as I'm talking about, there's rarely anything in here. There's another one of our orbs that we need. So we're now up to 2 out of the 6. Well, I should just keep saying things. I should just keep saying the opposite of things that I want to happen, right? Here, let's try it. Let's try it and see. Whoops, I missed my key. Here, let's try it and see. Okay, so when you walk out on the second continent, there'll probably be nothing there, and there'll probably be absolutely none of the orbs that I need there at all, because there's never anything on the second continent, right? Never, ever at all. Let's see if that worked. I think I was a little too early with it, though. I wasn't expecting this encounters. This encounters, I might be losing that, reverse psychology karma that we had. It probably doesn't, kind of dissipates quickly, I think, but it's the second time. Second time it's happened, where, like, literally as I'm talking about it, the exact opposite has happened, so let's see if that reverse psychology karma's still there. I mean, let's see if this continent is empty and has nothing on it, just like I totally expect. Okay, that's not bad. There's things here. It's not packed, but there's things here. This will give us more opportunities to find the 2 big things that are still missing from this. The echoing flute that I've been talking about, but also the animal suit that I've just been, wow, not much there, that I've just been referring to, but we have not been able to see yet. The animal suit's one of those, it's technically not required, but I mean, you know, what kind of savage would finish this game as not a cat when that's an option? I mean, honestly. Okay. So this is the ghost town of Tendaki, and there's some story stuff. There's some, like, side quest story stuff here, but for randomizer purposes, we have 2 free items hanging out here, and so I like free. I like free. Here's our first mimic, though, so that's cool. We should have enough to kill it, so I'm gonna try to win because, you know, you do get a free item if you kill a mimic. So, oh, there you go. Mysterious hat, okay. I actually do like the mysterious hats because when you equip them, they reduce the amount of MP consumption. So that's really handy for our Pilgrim and Wizard, although they have a lot of MP, so MP consumption not likely to be a big deal. But as we get to the end, we're going to start using big spells like Heal Us All and such. And so you're talking about like a spell that needs 60-some MP, like... Oh, did I never equip that magic knife? Whoops. Our wizard hasn't actually fought anything yet, or attacked anything yet, so... And Viron did not pick up one of those open up the game spells, so... Alright, so there was our one key item, that mimic with the... Or not, sorry, one item in here, not key item. But that mimic with the mysterious hat, so not bad. Maybe not what I would have chosen, but not bad. Well, that's a very weak piece of armor, and definitely not wanting that, but it is okay. Alright, so there's a couple of locations, of course. There's that cave and a couple towers, but I really do want to try to find a town. Oh, 3 towers, dang. Because I really want that echoing flute so I don't have to stumble into these places randomly, right? This is the village of Sioux. There's one free item by that well up there, and there's an item and weapon shop. Okay, not really anything to write home about there. Once that NPC moves, I'll check the well. Still no echoing flute, huh? I'll get a wing just in case. What happened if I had open spots in my inventory? Okay. Yeah, you can see the inventories get muddied up pretty quickly here. But yeah, I just want to grab a wing for, you know, in case I get killed, I can, I'm gonna get returned all the way back to start. I can just wing back out to here. Oh, there you go. Okay, there. I didn't specifically say anything about there not being an orb here, but there you go. There's our third orb. They've been in some really rare locations today, like this village of Sioux. Only has one, that's literally only search spot. That's the only place an orb could be, and there was one there. The Cave of Enticement that we went through only had 2 treasure chests. There's one there. So, there's some expert bridge building. You know, when one bridge won't get the job done, why not 3? Can never be too sure. Okay. I guess I'll look here. There is a shrine that has just 1 treasure chest in it, so I'm kind of looking around for that. But also, it's kind of nice to know how the portal shrines connect together. I can't go through them yet, but now at least I know, like, okay, when and if I do get the ability to open the doors, the final key doors, can I go through these portal shrines? You know, where will they take me? Is it worth it? So, you know, we've seen a couple now, so I know I don't need to bother with those, but... So yeah, it's just good to know where they are. Okay, that's not anything. Here's a little town. Hopefully this town has got a, oh. Well, there is a weapon shop here. There's no item shop here, though, so... That's why I was saying, oh. Now, if we don't find anything, if we don't find an echoing flute, you know, we do have those 3 towers available to us. We have those 2 caves. I'll just start going through those. Basically just playing the odds, right? Which one has the most treasure chests in it? Hey, there we go. Finally. Okay. So there's our animal suits. They're not particularly strong. They have low defense, but we're gonna cat up anyway here. Because we have to. We have to. I would think less of myself if I didn't, if I won this game as not cats. The good news is it's not very, it doesn't have much defense, but the good news is it's easy to afford. There have definitely been some seeds where the animal suit is strong and very expensive, and I will literally put off winning the game because I'm like, nah, we gotta be cats. We have to be cats, come on. So here we go. There's our first adorable kitty. He kind of blends in with the wood floor there, so we'll get a better look in a second, but... There we go. Kitties! So many kitties! Ah, this is how the game's supposed to look. Now we're ready. Now we're ready to go. Okay, now we're ready to save the world. Now everything is fine. So there's the animal suit. There's the effect of the animal suit. The randomizer actually does have a flag in it that will allow you, the animal suit, to change you into random animals. I've heard that it's got some wild options in it, but, I mean, come on. It's a cat, man. What more? A cat. Come on, cat. Okay, we'll take the inn here. So at this point, I've seen all the portal shrines except for one. So even if I were to get the key to open up, oh, nothing down there. Even if I were to get the key to open up the portal shrines, I kind of know there's only one that could really go anywhere. All right, let's see if there's anything to the north. Anything in terms of like towns that might sell echoing flutes and such. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to, yeah, play the odds game here. Oh, okay. Anything in here? No. Alright, what other... Oh, there we are. So this is Lancel. To get to that cave in the back, that cave you see on the screen there. Oh, I'm gonna die. Okay, great. This is not Lancel yet, but this is why we got the wing, right? Actually, there are wings here in Aliahan too, but it is faster. Oh, Knobs was close. It is faster to... Oh, you know what? I never checked Knob, did I? I should check Knob. There are 2 treasure chests in Knob you can get at nighttime. I spaced on them. You should check those. I was gonna say, in order to get to Lancel, the cave in the back of Lancel, you need the final key, but there was still items and weapons we could go check out. Specifically at this point, I think we're relatively good on equipment, right? But that echoing flute's still eluding me, and I've got a whole bunch of places dungeons to check, so it'd be nice to stumble across an echoing flute soon here. So I had some guidance as far as where to go. All right, well, we're instead gonna get a second mysterious hat, which, again, I guess is fine. Oh, Harley's gonna get a level, apparently. Okay. 6 HP is, it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. I guess, you know, when I say 6 HP is okay, it's better than 5. But I don't know if that's really going to catch him up as much as he needs. Harley needs to do some catching up, right? So, I don't know if that really catches him up, but I mean, you know, 6 is better than 5. Turns out 5 is better than 4. You can probably guess what 4 is better than. Anyway. Okay. Let's go to Lancel Part 2. Ah, that worked out much better that time. So we can't go to that cave in the back, but I guess we're passing right by the weapon shop. We'll see if they have anything of interest. Not really. Again, I don't really know what we kind of have all the gear I'd really want. Maybe a slightly stronger weapon for our hero. Sadly, what I really wanted, the echoing flute, still not there. It is possible to find an echoing flute in a treasure chest, but that's a much more difficult find because there's so many treasure chests, of course. So Nonnels is a whole little side quest in Dragon Warrior 3 where they're all asleep and you can wake them up and da-da-da. The thing about this, usually we don't bother waking them up, but the thing about it is if you wake them up, actually we'll just attack them to death here. There is an item shop there. So if you wake them up, you can get some, you can get access to an item shop. Now if I already had an echoing flute, I wouldn't care. But I don't. So we don't have the item we need to wake them up yet. It's literally just called the wake up powder, actually. So fairly original naming on that front. But if we do encounter the wake up powder, I will go wake them up and see if I can get a an echoing flute from there. So Nonnel's Cave, that was Nonnel's Cave. Decent number of treasure chests there. This is called this is Kandar 2 Cave. That's decent as well. I think I really want to go to. Oh, forget this. I want to go to. There's a tower. Not this one. There's a tower, Tower of Arp, and we have all the towers here. I think we have all but one cave as well. There's only one cave missing, I think. So Continent 2 does have, here we go, a lot of things. I like Arp because it's got a combination of generally higher value enemies. It's relatively short, and there's 7 treasure chests here, so I feel like that's a good combination, right? There's some things that we can kill for lots of experience. Well, usually, not those, but usually. Relatively short, you get 7 in the fast. There are other dungeons that have more than 7 in them, 7 treasure chests in them, but, yeah, they're longer. So, I do feel like this is a good combination of, like, let's put a move on it, but also let's get some treasure chests. This place also, historically, I found a lot of, like, metal babbles and metal slimes in here. I mean, I know that's all random, but, you know, confirmation bias and such. I always like to think in my head there's a little bit better chance that those high-value metallic enemies are in here. I don't think that's actually true. I'm pretty sure that's all confirmation bias, but, you know, hey. Just put that's just the icing on the top of the cake, right? Like I said, there's a lot of treasure chests, a good amount of treasure chests in a short time here. So that's kind of the main reason, but, you know, a little confirmation bias to seal the deal never hurt, right? Oh, I didn't see that red slime there. Oh, I knew he was gonna do that too, huh? We should get rid of him, of course. I totally missed that red slime in the midst of all this stuff here. Oh, man. Classic randomizer, right? Slimes will kill you. In fact, you're not even surprised when slimes kill you. More surprised when slimes don't kill me. What? I survived a slime fight? It's always the most harmless ones that get you in this. Alright. Alright. Oh, whoops, I didn't heal all everybody. I mean, Veron's probably fine, but whatever. We're giving out heal-alls, we might as well. Okay. No, we don't really need that, right? Everyone's shielded up, I think. If I remember, Mikey had a shield that was like 31 versus that one was 32. I guess I could have menuing, do all that. Like, not a lot of menuing, but for one defense point. Alright, here's treasure chest 4 through 7, and this will end the tower. So again, pretty quick, even with that little red slime shenanigans. However, nothing. So again, that's why not having that echoing flute is such a big deal, because if I had the echoing flute, I would have known there's nothing there. However, didn't. Don't have it, so. There are not many places left to search for the echoing flute, actually, so that's, or sorry, I mean, not many more item shops out there. There's, I can think of 2 immediately. There's probably a couple others I'm not thinking of, but we've gone through most of the item shops in the game, so. I know what tower that is. It's gonna be a low volume tower. Okay. So instead, we're gonna do this. Now this is not for... want to do this? I guess I do. I'm halfway through it. This is not for items necessarily, and because I just said that, I'm assuming we're going to find an orb here. We are halfway through our orb hunt, by the way, right? But this is big because this is the Orochi side quest. Actually, I don't think it's a side quest. I think you have to do it the regular version game, right? But this is the Orochi. We are going to kill the Orochi. And we do it for a lot of experience, yeah, so we're gonna get a whole bucket load of experience. This is a really good way to pick up experience early on, especially in the randomizer. It's kind of not, or it's more mid, well, it better be mid. We're an hour through, and we're almost an hour through, and this should be about a 2-hour deal, so we better be in the mid-game of this right now. We're at 3 orbs, so I guess that's mid-game, right? By that definition. But this is more mid-game, but the Orochi is one where, in the randomizer at least, I think in the regular game he's kind of annoying, isn't he? But in the randomizer at least, he's usually a complete pushover, and there have been some seeds where, if this cave is really close to home, we've actually been able to kill the Orochi on level 1. And so you can grab, like, you know, 10,000 experience right off the bat, and that is, you know, gonna be good. So, there you go. See, did anyone see the Orochi? Did anyone see the Orochi? So in this case here, I mean, we're not really hurting for experience. Our levels are pretty decent, but still, that's going to be 6k experience, and we get to kill him twice. So it's kind of hard to pass on 12k experience. Now, this is going to take me back over to the town we saw earlier, Jaipeng. I walked in and walked out. I don't really want to be there, but at the same time, 12k experience is a little tough to ignore, yeah? So, topping off the levels here, I would imagine we don't particularly need to kill a whole lot much more, at least not until we get to the Dark World, and part 2 of this game. Not the second half, part 2. Part 2 is very, very short. So, let's see if we got any of those spells I was mentioning. Hey, okay, there we go. Open spell, nice, that's really helpful. Okay, so that's another reason why I was going to say I wanted a 12k experience to see if we get one of those spells, and we do have the open spell, and that's going to let us, well, obviously open up things, but now we have all kinds of things we can try, we can go check, so now we are really rolling here. So there's the other half of our 12k experience, thank you very much. The return spell and outside spell would still be really nice. Those are, again, kind of more quality of life things, but it'd be really nice to pick up one of them for sure, or both of them for sure. Okay. And we do get a treasure chest after this, so, you know, there's never an orb here. Oh, it didn't work. I feel like the game knows when you're trying to do it, and it's just not gonna allow you that. It's got to be accidental. The game knows. The reverse psychology has to be. You can't force that, I guess. Oops, thought I walked out. As much as you try, alas. Okay, so there was a portal here, portal shrine. Here it is. Oh, actually, you know what? While we're here, I almost forgot. Let's go check the Dragon Queen. The Dragon Queen will give us a free item, and it could be a very, very important item. And the Dragon Queen also is a little bit of a meme here. So the Dragon Queen is setting up, well, the Dragon Queen is setting up the Dragon Warrior 1 reveal. But the Dragon Queen is basically about to give birth to the egg that will become the Dragon Lord, is what it's going to end up being. But, as I mentioned, doing silly meme stuff here, and because I usually run this nice and early in the morning, the joke is that we come here, and the Dragon Queen prepares us a delicious, delicious breakfast. So we're going to come here and get breakfast from the Dragon Queen. And breakfast because, there you go, there's our egg we could use to make a delicious, okay, we got a Thor sword, a delicious omelet for breakfast. It would be mean, except we know in lore that that egg is going to hatch to become the Dragon Lord. So, I mean, in that regard, you're like, well, in that case, maybe it's not that mean. Normally, taking the egg that you just laid and turning it, you'd be like, oh man, that's so evil. I mean, we know that's going to become the Dragon Lord. So, I mean, really, I don't think it's, it's probably allowable in that case. But that's always the joke there, is that we go there and we get ourselves some delicious breakfast, because I'm always doing this in the morning. I'm always running this in the morning, so. Now I want breakfast. Where can I get some breakfast? Can we take breakfast? Is it breakfast break time yet? Breakfast break? Breakfast. So this is going to lead to one of the portals I haven't seen yet. This one here. Actually, I believe it's the only portal I haven't. Technically, I haven't seen the Portoga portal yet, which I do want to go check out because there could be echoing flutes over there. But for now, I want to see where this leads, because this could lead to all kinds of good stuff. Let's see. Oh, I thought it was just an island of... Oh, it is an island emptiness. I thought it was just a complete empty island. It's not a complete... Well, it was complete, but... Those are always the funniest when you're like, oh, I got a brand new portal, where is it going to take me? And you walk out and it literally is just a super small island. You can see the whole island, everything. That one I couldn't see the whole island. There was a brief glimmer of hope that maybe there's something down there before we saw the coast, but... The ones where you, like, walk out and you just see literally, like, 2 tiles of island around you and immediately you're like, oh. Those ones are the best. Those ones are the funniest. Whoops. I took these portals the complete wrong way. So I'm trying to get over to Portoga, which I will do in just a second. Portoga's got an item shop, and, well, I guess I could have, whatever. I mix up these portals far more often than I should. Portoga has an item shop, so it might have that really important echoing flute that we need, that finally could use. It also has 3 treasure chests. Portoga is also where you get the boat from if you have the black pepper. And, again, there's a scenario we're always hoping for, because it's just funny. We'll see if it happens here. So let's get out of here. So we'll see if it happens here when we go check the 3 treasure chests, but I'll mention that in just a second. First up, though, the item shop. Echoing flute, finally? Echoing flute? Oh, man. Brutal. Alright, I mean, I guess it just gives us a chance to show you the entire game. Every nook and cranny of the game. Alright, so here's the thing. The 3 treasure chests are sitting right over here. The King of Portoga's in the other room, yelling for Pepper. And so the funny thing is always if the Pepper's right here. He gives us a boat. He'll give us a boat if the Pepper's here. It's always funny when the Pepper's here, because you basically just get a boat for fetching the Pepper from the next room over. But it doesn't look like... No, not going to be the case here. Alright, well, I want to go back home to Aliahan to check some treasure chests, and there's one real darn quick way to do that. If we had the return spell, we could use that one, but we don't. So, there you go. There's the poor man's return spell. Literally the poor man's return spell, because that'll cost us half our gold. But, I think we're pretty much done buying things, so... I mean, okay, I want to buy an echoing flute, but those are cheap. Alright, so that opens up the chance for us to get some treasure chests out of here. Also, Castle Isis was just to the south. that's gonna have a whole bunch of treasure chests we can get to. So that open spell helpful not just for wandering the world, but also getting us into some of these treasuries. Oh, okay, Sage's Stone. The Sage's Stone is a very interesting weapon, or item, I should say. It's a very interesting item because it will give you, well, it heals, right? It heals everyone. If you use it in battle, it'll heal everybody. But it's randomized in this game as well. So you can get a stone that will, normally in the regular game, just be healed more. So that, you know, like 50 HP to everybody or so. It's nice, it's nice. But you can get a Sage's Stone sometimes that will heal, like, literally everything. Like, just heal us all. Basically, it's a free heal us all. It'll heal everyone to full every time. Or you can get the reverse, where you get a Sage's Stone that'll give everyone, like, 5 HP back. So, of course, you know which one we're hoping for, right? We're hoping for the Heal Us All Stone, but, yeah, we don't know, right? We'll have to check it in battle at some point, but still, it's a nice one to have. Also, if it's a terrible, if it only gives, like, 5 HP back to everybody, we still can use it to get, oops, I needed to be nighttime. We still can sell it for, like, 15 grand, so, not bad, right? I mean, again, I don't know if we need money, so of course I'm hoping, but it's a nice consolation prize, right? If you find out it only heals like 5 HP, like, oh, this thing's useless, well, at least you can sell it for a bunch of money, does something, but again, especially now with not needing money in this seed anymore, I don't think, would not be my first choice for it to be a bad stone, but that's something anyway. Alright, so this is Castle Isis. There are 10 items in here, and I'm really, really hoping that we get something that will tell us where our orbs are. Again, you can find echoing flutes in treasure chests, so it's possible. I mean, I guess, too, if we wanted to, we could just, you know, we just casually find all 3 of our missing orbs here. We got 3 of the 6. Hey, there we go. Look at that. Just have to babble about it long enough, and it'll show up. Well, now I think I'm just gonna echoing flute and see if I need to check the rest of them. No, I don't. So there's the advantage, right, to this. I know I don't need to check. You know what? We're gonna go grab them anyway. I was gonna say there's some progression items that maybe we could use, right? There's some little MacGuffins that might be, probably won't need them, but I should check, huh? I can see that this already happened twice today, yeah, where it's like, I probably won't need that, and immediately I need whatever that is, so, yeah, I should probably check, huh? Well, that would have been a good piece of armor if I wasn't trying to win as cats. Oh well. And of course, as all of you fans of quantum mechanics out there know, as soon as we check it, it turns out to be blah. We ruin it all by checking it. Yep. That's how it goes. If I didn't check it, it would have had all the riches we could have ever dreamed of. But because we checked it, nothing. Nothing, huh? Nope, okay. None of those progression items we were talking about, but... So... Oops. I need to go up here and get out of here the faster way. So now, when we have that echoing flute... excuse me. Now that we have that echoing flute, we can go check a whole... recheck. We can go echoing flute a lot of places and see what we might need to go grab. So I did come into the pyramid, but there were 2 that I had to leave behind because I didn't have a key at the time. Okay. No echoes, so those are empty. It's fine. And now I need a wing to get back to that second continent and all those towers and caves that I passed by. So let's go get that. Should probably get a couple of wings, huh? We don't need this. I guess we don't really, I don't really need to hold on to these holy lances anymore, do I? Because, like I said, I don't think we need money for, oh. Was the wing not, I know the wing was early. What was there? it here? I mean, this was pretty early, too. Weird. Okay. Yeah, I remembered it was early on, but I could have sworn... Well... could have sworn it was in our starting town. But this is pretty close, so no big deal. Okay, back to... take full advantage of our Echoing Flute. Now, I mentioned there's only one major dungeon that's not here, so I'm expecting to see a lot of our orbs. There's only one major dungeon that's not here, but, again, there's a couple of MacGuffins that lead to, like, you know, plot devices and things like that, that open up some checks that could have orbs, too, right? So, it's not like it's guaranteed to be one of our major dungeons, but, I mean, I imagine most of them are. Okay. As I say that, nothing. Once again. Oops, we've been there already. Okay, anything here? This is a pretty low volume dungeon, so probably not. Yeah, only 3 there, so nope. What was that? I don't remember what this was. What was this? Oh, right, okay. We've been there. I was pretty sure we had been there, but I didn't remember what it was, so I was like, I probably should just check it, yeah. Okay, don't really care. Well, we are quickly running out of possibilities. Oops, that's the wrong cave. So the other cave was Kandar 2. Good amount of stuff in there. And I think at this point, I'm going to gamble. Not gamble, I'm just going to go. Because at this point, we're getting close to needing the boat from Portoga. And Kandar 2, this cave here, this is one of the caves that can have the black pepper that we need to get the boat. So I'm going to go through here because we might find an orb. There's a good number of treasure chests in here. 9, I believe. So there's a good number of treasure chests. I'm going to check it to see if we get an orb, of course. But I also want to check to see if we get the pepper. Again, the black pepper, of course, will not cause an echo for the echoing flute. So I'm going to go through and see if I can find the black pepper or orbs in here. Hopefully at least one. I think hoping for all 3 is a bit greedy and optimistic, but hopefully get at least one. Kind of good on weapons at the moment, thank you. This is what we refer to as building up the drama, right? Like, I could use the echoing flute to find out if there are orbs here, but we're gonna build, oh, so much drama, so much drama. Is it an orb? I don't know, it could be, oh, so much drama. Let's get rid of that. That Witch Doctor is worth an okay amount. Not anything amazing, but let's just grab that real quick. Oh, definitely not anything amazing this morning. Oh, no, okay. But again, yeah, the reason why I'm going through and doing this is because there is the... I don't know why I keep going to the Thieves' Key when I have it open, but there is the potential for both the progression MacGuffins and the orbs, so I'd want to check it for both those things. Alright, we have 5 more to go, 1 more here, and then the 4 more are clustered on the bottom, so... Nah. Oh, not that bad. Usually those things are really annoying to kill, or have really annoying abilities, I should say, so that's why I was, oh, no, get out of here. If we're surrounded, now they're more annoying. So that's why I was gonna say, like, is it worth the experience? I don't think so, but it turned out, well, in that one, they didn't, in this, they didn't have anything too bad, they were just kind of a but, you know, surround causing most of our attacks to miss, bounce meaning we can't cast spells. Hey, look at that! Look at that! I think I was just, hey, how about that? How about that? That was forward psychology. It wasn't even reverse psychology. That was just forward psychology that time. I think I faked the reverse psychology so much that I, like, faked out the fake. The game got faked out by the fake and, you know, went back to regular, I guess. I don't know. There you go. So there's our black pepper. Awesome. I feel like we might as well grab these 4 down here in case one of the other little MacGuffins we need is there. That's potentially one of them. That only opens up 1 possible check, so unlikely, but still, that's one of the possible ones. If there's an orb at the boss troll back in. This is where we got in Samana, where we got our animal suits. If there's an orb there, it's possible there is. If there's an orb there, we need that Mirror of Ra. So no orb there apparently. However, we did get one of the little progression items we need. Now there's one more cave still out there that I lovingly refer to as All the Things Cave. It's because it has all the things in it. It's got 26 treasure chests in it, which is by far and away the most of any cave here. It's a kind of funny cave in the regular game because it has so many treasure chests, but they're all either empty or mimics. At least again in the regular game. But, alright, I was going up to Lancel to check that. But of course in the randomizer, it's got 26 treasure chests that could randomize anything into them. And so very, very often, lots and lots and lots of... Oh, I just realized I've got to set this up so I can actually get things... Ooh. Oh, it's a bit messy. The inventory's a bit messy, not... I need my hero to have that. I mean, I guess his Thor sword just has to go, right? I'm not using it really for anything, so I guess that just has to go. Yeah, just inventory was a bit messy there, because there's a door on the other side of this that... Oh, sorry. Let me start over here. I was thrown off by that inventory stuff. So only one of our characters can go into this cave. That's not a huge deal, except for the fact that there's a door on the other side. So if I send in the one that doesn't have open, then I need to have a key. It's just a Thieves' Key door, so the Thieves' Key's fine. I could send the one in with open, but then the one with open needs to be given the Echoing Flute, and his inventory was a mess. So, I mean, either just kind of like... We're just going to Echoing Flute here. No. Okay. We're still missing 3 treasure chests, or 3 orbs, I mean, and... We've checked an awful lot of places, so... This is starting to get a little concerning, but... let me see. Are there any other little one-off places I'd want to check? I do kind of want to check Samano. Let's go back and get more wings, and because I'm probably going to want them for later. Let's do that quick Mirror of Ra. Since we have the Mirror of Ra, let's do the quick Samano check. Samano, again, has a little side quest where you unveil that the King of Samano is really a monster in disguise, using the Mirror of Ra. I think it's required in the regular game, right? But, you know, here it just opens up one check for us. But now that we have the... So we wouldn't normally want to go through all that just on a whim, but now that we have the Echoing Flute and the Mirror of Ra, we can go to Samano, just the beginning of Samano here, and Echoing Flute to see if we need to do that or not. Probably won't, but we'll just check real fast here. Whoops, Echoing Flute is up here. Nope, okay. Alright, well then let's go grab our boat, and I think we're gonna have to sail the world trying to find this cave that has, all the things in it. Oh, whoops, there was Portola up there. And that's the major spot that's still left. If we don't get our orbs out of there. Now, it is possible you could get 3 orbs out of that cave. I've had seeds before where you'll get 5 of the 6 orbs out of there. I've never had one that had all 6 in there yet, but 5 was pretty clever. 5 was a lot. So, it's certainly possible that a lot of our orbs ended up there. There are a couple other one-off places, too. Also of interest, we saw it earlier, but I couldn't get to it. The boat was needed to get into the Necrogrond, which has 3 treasure chests in it as well. Unfortunately, the Necrogrond, in order to get in there, I have to throw away my Sword of Gaia, which is very, very strong. So I kind of would rather not do that if I had the choice. Obviously, we might not have the choice. There's an orb in there, there's an orb in there, right? But that's going to have 3. And then there's some other, like, you know, we need the Staff of Change is the other MacGuffin that we need to hopefully get to the to make the Phantom ship spawn. That has 6 treasure chests on it. So there's still some other places for us to look, of course, but I really want to get to this cave Because first of all, this cave might have a whole bunch of our orbs, but also, this cave might have all those other MacGuffins I was just talking about, right? So... Oops, you do not have heal all. You do. Harley's HP is getting better, by the way, right? 126. Usually we want to see it in, like, the high hundreds. Over 200 would be ideal. But I think we can keep him alive at 126, and he should get a few more. Oh, look, a cave. This is that cave I was talking about. Has to be. Yep, there we are. Let's just check. There has to be at least one in here, I think. Yeah, okay. Technically, there didn't have to be, but just based on where the remaining checks are, and, you know, the fact that we still have 3 things MIA, there basically had to be something here, right? So this is what I refer to as all the things cave. Normally, again, in here, you're coming in here to get that Mirror of Ra in the regular game, and most of these treasure chests are like dupes or dummies or mimics or empties or whatever, but not in this. Okay, there's that wake-up powder. Don't need it anymore, because we have the echoing flute. Invisibility herb. No, not really. Hey, okay, well, there we go. So that's nice, of course, because now I can throw away that sort of guy on the Necrogrond if I need to, and not worry about it. Oh, he got the, oh, he got that Beast Claw. We'll have you hold on to this. And, oh, came down here. Oh, right, because he used up the wings, sure. Okay. So yeah, now we can get rid of that sort of guy without having to worry about it, because we have a better weapon for our hero. So that's a little consolation there, but not, again, what I'm really on the look for here. Really on the lookout for these orbs. Was hoping to find one early, because that would have greatly raised the chances of us having multiples. Almost halfway through our 26, I think it's 26, something like that. Somewhere in there. There's one. Okay. Alright, well, we might as well check the rest of these up here, right? And then we'll Echoing Flute to see if there's more in here. Okay. So that's half. I'll pick that up just in case. So that's half of this cave. Do we need to do the second half? No. You know, technically I don't need to do the second half, but I think I do, because I think we're gonna need this Staff of Change. I think we're gonna need to open up, well, I was talking about the Phantom Ship earlier. There's not many checks left, and we're still 2 orbs short. We don't have a guarantee that it has to be in the Phantom Ship, but it's looking like very likely that it is. So I think the plan here is to just open up treasure chests and dungeons, hope that we can get a hold of that Staff of Change, and see if we can spawn that Phantom Ship. We do need the Staff of Change to spawn the Phantom Ship. It will not spawn without it, so I know there's no orbs here, but I think we're here. We might as well finish this up. There's a bunch of treasure chests too, so we might as well finish this up in the hunt for that Staff of Change. I think is the best plan here. So let's do that. It's not gonna do it. I believe the Staff of Change is our last progression item that we could need. I guess technically there are some possible ways we might need a magic key, but they're pretty rare and unlikely, so I think it is just the Staff of Change that we might need. Let's see if the reverse psychology is still in effect. Let's see if what I say I want will actually happen now. It did for that, it did for the pepper, right? So we're only down to 1 more. The wrong staff. No. There was a staff here, but not the staff we needed. Right. So next up. I think we have to go to the Necrogrond. And throw that sort of guy in there and check it out. And see if we can find... I mean, technically there could be 2 orbs there, but there's only 3 treasure chests in there, so I mean... odds are low. There's also one other, like, little one-off, in Eigenber. And I haven't found Castle Eigenber yet. It could be here with this, so I guess I should run around here and look. There's also that, that shrine I mentioned that has a single, well, it's not here, that has a single treasure chest in it that I haven't found, but those things are not there. So we definitely needed the boat, right? Because we had to get to that cave, and that cave very clearly had, oh, have I seen this yet? I haven't seen this yet, I don't think. Very clearly had an orb that we needed. So we're up to 4 orbs now. Nothing there. I mean, there's item shops and weapon shops there, but we're not. We don't need those things anymore, do we? Oh, another island with nothing on it. Well, sorry, nothing else on it. Sorry, town, but you're not really that important at this time. Oh, okay. So we might be doing a lot of sailing to find these last spots, huh? So, I think I'm down, I'm pretty sure I'm down to my last wing. Which is why I'm just sailing. What is this? Have I seen this yet? Oh, yeah, we saw that earlier. That's the House of Pirates that had the 3 in the back. Okay. So I believe Necrogrond is at the top of this. So we'll just sail to that. And, oops, not that way, apparently. And we'll see. We had to sail the Necrogrond because there are just mountains along the land route there. Whoops. So I want to sail there just to see if I can find those other little one-off places like, oh, is this it here? I want to say like Eigenber or like, oh, Cat Shrine though. We're cats at Cat Shrine. I'm going to keep looking in this island. They've been pretty light, so they've been pretty quick so far. No. No castle and no shrine that have treasure chests in them. Again, those each only have 1, so I'm not... You know, it's not that likely that they are, but... If I run across it, I'm going to check it, of course, but... Check it with the echoing flute, I mean. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, thank goodness I have a wing. So, that's the Hidden Elf Village. The Hidden Elf Village is usually very clearly marked. Is usually very clearly marked on the vanilla map, but in Rando, as you see, it can be anywhere. Thank goodness we had that wing kicking around. And there it was in the sea, of course, and that's not usually a problem if you run into it, you just walk out. But if it's in the sea, well, you saw what happened, right? If it's on the sea, when you walk out, you're just stuck in the sea, so... Very, very good thing that we had a wing kicking around, or else that would have been a soft lock, so... Yikes. Whew. Okay, well... Let's go back. Actually, I can just go from here, huh? I don't know where I moved my boat to, though. Alright, I don't know where my boat went, so we're gonna use one of these wings. I don't know, Lancel's fine. Alright, so we're gonna make that. That's a little annoying because, of course, that's. Actually, can I go this way? I can go this way, can't I? What was this again? I don't remember. Oh, I think I remember what this was now. Yeah, it's a giant tank. Okay. Let's say this is another one that I was pretty sure we saw, but I feel like in this situation where you're like, I need 2 orbs, and where could they be? And am I forgetting something? It's like, you know, let me just walk in real fast and make sure, especially when, you know, we now have the boat and we're seeing things from different directions and stuff like that. It's like, you know, let me just pop in real fast and make sure that I actually have seen this before, because there's nothing worse than wandering around realizing that you've been passing by the thing that you really needed the whole time. Alright, topping off a few levels here. Harley, there you go, Harley with 12 HP. We were kind of a little worried about Harley's HP, but that's... looks like it's fixing itself quite nicely. Wasn't the Necrogrond up here? Uh-oh. Oh, it's over here, okay, yeah. I don't say, like, wasn't it right up here? I'm pretty sure it was up here, wasn't it? Did it move on me? What happened here? It's off by 1. Alright, well, if we don't get an orb in here, then I think I'm going to give in and go start hunting for the Staff of Change. There are technically those 2 other little one-offs, but I mean, what are the chances that they both have an orb? You know what, now that I just said that, I should go look for them, huh? Now that I just said that, I really should go look for them, huh? The way this has been going, I should absolutely go look for them. Yep, oh, I definitely should. Let's equip it. I do not believe the Staff of Change can be in here. Whoops, there's right up here, too. Okay, there's an orb in here. Good news, good news. Now, there are 2 in here, we're done. Well, we're done with the first portion of the game, I should say. Again, the second part, much faster. So we won't have to worry about, yeah, we're much more than halfway through at this point, but, again, we better be, because we're supposed to be done in 2 hours. I should say we're supposed to, we usually, like, that's a good run, right? You're very happy. If you can go sub 2 in this, you're pretty happy about it. Not all seeds go sub 2, obviously, like with any randomizer, some are longer than others, but generally you go into it thinking, like, you know, if I can go sub 2, it's been a good time, so. Alright, well now it's really unlikely that our 2 are here, huh? Given that there's only 2 left. It's still possible, though, but we need some of that reverse psychology luck here, huh? 2 treasure chests and 2 orbs doesn't feel very likely. Well, now it's gonna be really tough. Now it's gonna be extremely tough to have 2 orbs and 1 treasure chest. I think I can pretty safely say we're not going to get both of our orbs out of here. I think that's a pretty safe bet at this point. Alright, we're up to 5, so that's good news. It is 5, right? I'm not hunting around for this is always the other funny one, too, is I kind of hope I miscounted. It is 5. The miscounting is kind of a little give and take, right? On the one hand, it's sort of sad because you're like, man, I can't count to 6. On the other hand, you're like, hey, I'm done looking for these things. So, you know, it's a little bit of a give and take there. Sometimes I'm willing to admit I can't count to 6 if it means I get all of my, my errands taken care of, but, apparently in this case, I have managed to correctly count the number of orbs, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we do not have an extra rogue orb lying around anywhere, much as I wish we did. Alright, so again, just topping off things a little bit here. I don't know if I need to do it, but at this point, if I find things like those guys who are relatively easy to kill and worth a good amount of experience, kind of feels like, why not? Why not? Like we said, Harley's HP is still a bit suspect. It's fixing itself, but it's a little bit suspect, so... More stats never hurt anybody anyway, right? I'm walking out of this place in, like, the least efficient way possible. It's the way that I went to check the 3 treasure chests, which is fine, but there was a more efficient way to get out of there. It skips the treasure chests, but obviously, like, we already got them, so... I just did the reverse walk, but I could have gotten out of there a little faster, but it's okay. Well, now that I only have 1 left, all of a sudden now I do want to go find those one-offs, because we just need one of those one-offs to hit, and we don't have to go look for the Staff of Change. Looking for the Staff of Change is tough because it could be literally anywhere. Anywhere in the game, and the Echoing Flute's not going to help us with that, so... Looking for the Staff of Change is really tough, and especially, too, no one has learned the open spell, or the outside spell, I'm sorry, the outside spell yet. So we'd have to walk into every place, then walk out of every place, or Death Warp out of each place, and it's just not gonna be very good. So, there's a lot of empty up here. So I'm really kind of hoping that one of these one-off spots, either Eigenburg or this shrine, have got this orb. We just need 1 to hit now. If it was 2, Like I was saying before, if it was 2, like, come on, what are the chances they both? But now we just need one of them, so I mean... Hi. Alright. The flip side is, if I'm just sailing around randomly hoping for... It's kind of low odds if I'm not forgetting anywhere. That's a very big if. Hey, okay, here we go. Is there an orb here? Obviously, might as well just check it. Ah, bummer. If I'm not forgetting anything, we've got 6 on the Phantom ship and now 1 in Eigenberg. So it's a 1 in 7 chance. But, again, to open those 6, we need to find some completely randomly located item and who knows where. So... Like, obviously, if you have 6 checks versus 1, you take the 6 every time, but the 6 are gonna be kind of tough to open up. This is where the randomizer especially, you get into all kinds of, I'm sure, really fun probability calculations, right? How much time is it going to take to get the 1 versus how much time would it take to get the 6, and, you know, this is 6 times more likely, but if you waste 6 times as much time doing that, then you know, and so... super great game for probability nerds. Alright, I think this is the one that's worth a fair amount. Let's see. It's pretty good for 1 enemy. Okay. Again, this should be worth a decent... I mean, I really don't need this. I really should be... Whoops, that was the wrong one. But I meant to defeat the shadows, because there's, of course, more of those, but that's fine. I really don't really need this experience, so I think I'm just... I don't know why I'm killing it. I really should just be repelling and running away from that stuff. I don't want to repel that, but I really should just be running away from that stuff. I guess I kind of want some levels for outside, especially. If I have to go looking for this Staff of Change, outside would at least speed things up a bit. So, I mean, I guess from that standpoint, return would be nice too, convenient too. So I guess from that standpoint, but it's not like it's necessary, so... Did at least one of you learn it? No? Outside of return? No? Hey, okay, there's return. Okay, so at least we got a return. Okay. That'll at least help out. Now when I go back to check places for the Staff of Change, it will be a bit quicker to get back there. We don't have to keep going to buy wings and such. There's a couple islands over here. I'm still going to look to see if our missing castle is on any of these islands. It's not. And we've circled back around to... Man, we just cannot run here. Jeesh. And we've circled back around to some of... Oh, no, this is the first continent, isn't it? Is it? What continent is this? Oh, you can return to wherever we need to. So, it's the first continent, yeah. All right, well, let's return. Let's look for that. Thing. Staff of Change. First place I'm gonna check is just gonna be right here, Nonal's Cave. There are 12 chests in here, I believe. So, good chance to find that Staff of Change here. But again, we're just doing this totally blind because the Echoing Flute will not help for this. We need to get this Staff of Change to open up to spawn the Phantom ship, which has those 6 checks. So Eigenberg's still out there. That's the other thing that's really sad about is that it's not even a guarantee that it's in there. There's still that 1/7 chance that it's in wherever Eigenberg is. But like I said, if it takes you 6 times as long to find that castle, or no, if it takes you 6, I don't know. You can tell I'm not a little rusty on my probability here, but this, of course, has, if we're going probability route here, this has a high amount of variance, right? Because if I open up the next treasure chest, I'm going to take that because I mentioned there's a world in which that might be needed. A really weird, unlikely world, but a world in which that might be needed. If I open up the next treasure chest and it's the Staff of Change, we can bolt to those 6 checks and it's perfect, right? But if I need to open like 30 treasure chests, if I have to go search out 30 treasure chests to find the thing, then and then imagine the orb's not even in one of those 6, like, but I think at this point we have to play the odds, right? At least, you know, I don't know where either check is, so I don't know where the Staff of Change is. I don't know where the castle is, so if I don't know where it is, I might as well go towards the one that has 6, or try to go towards the one that has 6 versus the one that has 1, right? I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm rusty on probabilities. I don't know. Not like you can do the probability calculation anyway, right? We don't have complete information, but still. There really can't be anything else in here, as I've been saying. I don't really think there's... Hey, that's the thing. Look at that. Hey, how about that? I guess we could kind of need an Echoing Flute. We don't need this Agility Seed. How about that? Would you look at one of those? How about that? Okay, well then. Well, time to find out if our 6 checks are correct, or if we have to go looking for the castle. Again, this, I think we've got it narrowed down to it's got to be in one of those 2 places. As we joke around again, especially because I usually do this relatively early on Saturday mornings, there's really 3 places left, right? There's the Phantom Ship. There is Eigenberg Castle that I've mentioned. Those are the 2 that I've been mentioning. And there's a third, more of not a place, but a collection of places that we just simply refer to as Place I Forgot. Usually, Place I Forgot is the odds-on favorite to have an orb, but we'll see if that's the case this morning, which I hope it's not. But I think we're pretty much done here. So now I need to go back. Actually, I might as well use those wings, right? We have the return spell, so we don't need those wings anymore. So it was Jaipeng was the only town back here, I think. And we need to go back this way. Oh no, that didn't. Such a weird little little connection of islands. I forgot which way they connected. I have to go up here, then over. Then up through the swamp. And we take this Staff of Change and give it to this very old man who will trade us for the Sailor's Thigh Bone. The Sailor's Thigh Bone is what actually spawns the Phantom Ship. Now, the Staff of Change, you can use the Staff of Change to basically change your sprite into anything you want. That's why it's called, well, sorry, random, any random sprite. The old man uses it to change anything he wants, and he does this really disturbing cackle after we give it to him. Hey. Now, if you come back and talk to him, I won't, because we've taken, you know, this is kind of taking a little bit longer anyway to get these orbs than we were hoping for, or I was hoping for. But if you go back and talk to him, he'll be a random sprite. You'd imagine. What's over there? Nothing really. Okay, so we'll just sail over there. I was trying to think if there's any town that I could think of that was in that area that we could return to, but I think it's just, yeah, I don't think there's much over that way. You would imagine, based on his reaction, he'd do something very, inappropriate with that. However, if you go back, he is just usually, oh, I'm very wrong. Let's go somewhere I was very wrong on that. That's not even close. Let's go here. He'll be a variety of different sprites. He is a, he'll be a young boy, which that kind of makes sense, right? He turns himself, the old man turns himself into a young boy, so sure. I think he turns himself into like a random bard or things like that, but he does sometimes, he can turn himself into a bunny girl too, so he does do the, you know, that sort of stuff too, but it's not just that, so that's a weird little, but anyway, that aside, we need to, there's the Phantom Ship. So we need to get that Sailor's Thigh Bone to even spawn this. This won't spawn unless you have the Sailor's Thigh Bone. So you can't just, like, run around the world hoping to encounter it accidentally. Yeah, and there it was. So we did need that. So a couple of, wow, this was kind of messy. We do have our orbs, though, but this was a little messier. We're probably not going to be in under 2, which, again, that's the mark of, like, oh, really crush that seed. But this is a little bit messier because we had to get the boat. That was in just a random location that didn't have an orb. We had to get the Staff of Change, which was also in a random location that did not have an orb. So those are always the toughest seeds, right? We can use the Echoing Flute to help us find the orbs, but we can't use the Echoing Flute to help us find those other little progression MacGuffins, I call them. So if you need those, you're just kind of swimming around randomly, hoping to stumble across them, and that can take a while. And we saw almost every dungeon in here. Well, we didn't go through them, though. Thankfully, we got the Echoing Flute, so we didn't have to go through them. But yeah, we pretty much checked almost everything. Again, Eigenber was the only check that we didn't do, so. And that was just one treasure chest, so. But again, that's, whoops, I don't have any more orbs. I don't have any more wings, I mean, so. Go here. But yeah, that echoing flute, as you saw, really, really sped things up. So I could just walk into a tower and no echo. Okay, next one. So that was really nice to then finally find. All right, but we do have 6 orbs, so now we throw the orbs on here and get our bird. And after an hour and 40 minutes of looking for the orbs, we're going to spend about 13 seconds on the bird, maybe less. Now, another one of the jokey meme things here that we always do is these two guardians of the egg, or I think they're Godbird girls in a future, referred to as Godbird girls in a future one. Oh man, these two, let me tell you. We've been working our little tails off trying to find these orbs and revive this bird and everything, and what thanks they give us? Check this out. We've waited so long. Oh, have you now? I'm sorry. I was busy doing all the things. What were you doing again? Excuse me? You were waiting for so long? What were you doing exactly? That's not how I mean, they're supposed to be like, I don't know, basically like more like they've been like centuries old kind of thing is what they're getting at. But I always just love that when you finally get all the things. They're like, we've waited for so long. Oh, I'm sorry. What did you do again? I'm so sorry. Did you? I missed what you did. What was that again? I'm so sorry. I told what was I can't quite remember what you did then. So that's another running joke there. If you waited for so long, you go out and find these things then. Alright, so we're just going to do a quick little heal up here, and we are, as I mentioned, pretty much ready to go. We'll have an opportunity in the Dark World to... Oh, where am I going to go? I guess back to Jaipang, huh? I was trying to think what was close by. I guess Jaipang is it. We'll have an opportunity in the Dark World to top off some levels if we need to. But I don't think we'll need to. I think we're probably mostly good. Again, Harley's... Oh, over. Once again, I was like, where'd it go? You know, just a little, everything apparently has been just a little further to the left than I was expecting, right? Earlier with the Necrogrond, it was a little further to the left than I was expecting. Baramos Castle, I'm like, where'd it go? A little further to the left. Okay, well... Now I know if I need to look for something, I should apparently look a little further to the left. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Harley's HP was a little bit suspect, but not too bad. So I don't know, we might top off the levels anyway, but we'll have an opportunity to do that if necessary later. So this starts the sort of second portion of the game, which is much, much shorter, and there's a couple reasons why it's shorter that we'll get to. When we get to the big reason why it's short, well, okay, it's just less content, but also there's another pretty big reason why it's shorter too. But we'll get to that when we trigger it in just a second. This starts a new little, I want to say, quest for some key items. It's not nearly as bad as the hunt for the 6 orbs because there are way fewer locations in the second part of the game in the Dark World. But one of the items we need is the Sphere of Light, which could be out here, and we definitely want to find it if it's out here somewhere, so that's why I'm checking these treasure chests. It wasn't. If it ends up being there, it's a giant pain to get back to Baramos' castle, so that's why I always kind of want to check it, just in case one of that Sphere of Light that we're going to end up needing, just in case it ends up being there. I do not want to miss that. Real pain to get back there, so that's one of those probability calculations for going back to probability nerd mode. That is it likely to be in just those 3? Well, no, but if it is in one of those 3, you're losing a lot of time. So you saw the check takes like a minute, so I'm pretty sure better to spend the minute than to risk like having to come back and just lose tons and tons of time. I don't know, I think I've estimated like 15-20 minutes if it's there, so it feels like it's definitely worth it. There's at least a 1 in 20 shot of it being there, so. Alright, so with that, we are just rolling through Baramos' castle. Baramos is billed to allegedly be the final boss. Baramos is who through the whole game you think you're going to be killing, although as you've heard me reference several times, there's a second part to the game, so I guess that kind of gives away the 30, 40, how old is this game? 30 years old now? The decades-old spoiler that there's a second part to the game, and Baramos is not really the final boss. Shh, spoilers. We'll heal all here. Baramos, again, I think in the regular game, he's a bit of a hassle, but in this, he's usually not bad. I mean, in the Rando, obviously, he could be easy, he could be, but more often than not, I think he's usually pretty okay. You don't get any spells, or sorry, you don't get any, whoops, mixed up. You don't get any experience from Baramos, so if we defeat him, or if we can expel him, or limbo him, or, oh, there you go, beat him, yeah, it's fine, so, okay. Alright, now, here's part of the reason, so here's the reason why I was hoping Outside would show up. Outside would be nice because we, you know, could just cast Outside and be out of here, obviously, right? But we don't have Outside, so we have to walk. It's not particularly difficult because you know, we don't get any encounters or anything, but it's just a little more time-consuming, of course. This will also be true for the other locations in the Dark World, in Part 2 of this game. But, you know, they're not that lengthy, so it's just kind of a convenience thing. It does give us time to talk about what we're going to see in a second, though. Actually, technically, we're seeing it now. So we've defeated Baramos, allegedly won the game, except we haven't. Don't worry about it. Now is when, in the regular game, you're supposed to go back home, go back to Aliahan, and, you know, you're supposed to get all of your praise, and hooray, you did it, you did it. And that's when the real final boss, Zoma, crashes the party and announces himself and shows, aha, actually you haven't, and you've got to come kill me, etc. Now, here's the really interesting, see, the game doesn't want you to die between now and going back home to, you know, get that big reveal. So we're going to have absolutely no random encounters. We're going to have no damage from the tiles. You may have noticed I walked over those barrier tiles, nothing happened. No random encounters, no. The game really does not want us to die right now, because we're supposed to go back home and get our big celebration, our big reveal. Now, in the vanilla game, you'd have to do that. You'd have no choice, right? You'd be stuck on barren. However, in the randomizer, there's a funky little change that's been made. And because the map is randomized, the little portal to go to the second world is right there with Baramos. So we don't actually have to go back home to progress the game. And since we haven't been back home, the game is still waiting for us to go back home. The game still doesn't want us to die. So we will get no random encounters. We will take no barrier tile damage at all in the second portion of this game. This is what I call the game being in like a perpetual state of waiting. It's waiting for me to get back to Aliahan. I'm not going. I'm going somewhere else, dude. Sorry. Again, in the regular game, you would not be able to get here without going back, but in the randomizer, you can, and we do. So you're not going to see any random encounters. We could still hit mimics. If you open a treasure chest, you get a mimic, you still could see one of those. Now, we don't see it now because this is a completely random map, but if you were playing the regular game, you would now be seeing a map that would look strikingly similar to another game. Strikingly similar to Dragon Warrior 1. And that's kind of the big reveal here, is that our Dark World is actually the main world from Dragon Warrior 1. Now, as a result, that means we're looking for our Dragon Warrior 1 type things. We're looking for all the stuff to make the rainbow drop so that we can get access to, well, Zoma's castle, basically Sharlock. And go kill the final boss, right? So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going through and looking for those key items. That, as I mentioned, there are 4 of them. Hey, look, it's Hawksness. This is the town that in Dragon Warrior 1 has been destroyed. This is the one where I enter it, I'm like, look guys, I've got some really, you guys should all move, sell now, property values are gonna go down, because by the time Dragon Warrior 1 rolls around, this town is destroyed. So, property values in a destroyed town are usually pretty bad. So move now, sell now, sell now. There's a lot of really cool stuff in this Dark World. This is a basically remake, well, it's going to end up being a prequel, right? But this is basically a rehash of Dragon Warrior 1, and it's kind of cute. Like, this kid up here, he says he's learning to study curses, and in Dragon Warrior 1, that kid, right, that tile right there has an old man who will take your curse off. So there's a lot of neat little things like that we could just, you know, run around and see all the neat little callbacks to Dragon Warrior 1 if you're familiar with that game, but... Alright, so... we're just looking for, there's one possible way you can get an encounter, right? If you get a manning treasure chest or a mimic. By this point, they're generally harmless, so we're not gonna die from them now, but... so we're looking for, in order to make the rainbow drop, we need 3 things. We need the the fairy flute, the staff of rain, and the stone of sunlight. By the way, you see that cat in the corner there? That cat in the corner is going to play an integral role to this seed later on, so don't forget about that cat in the corner. Yeah, so we need that. We need those things. We also need to climb the Tower of Coal in order to get the Sacred Amulet. Oh, another mimic. We haven't seen too many in this seed, actually, so it makes sense there's a bunch here. We need to climb the Tower of Coal. So we need to do those things in order to get the rainbow drop. We also need to locate the Sphere of Light. Technically, we don't need to locate the Sphere of Light, but it'll weaken Zoma, who's the final boss. And without the Sphere of Light, it's possible to beat Zoma, but very difficult. So we basically need the thing. As I mentioned, this Dark World doesn't have that many locations on it. There's 1 tower and 2 caves, so... you know, that's where we're going to go to get our rainbow drop when we get all the stuff. We might as well just go look for the Sphere of Light, right? It's a lot easier to look for the Sphere of Light than to try to stumble through a really, really difficult Zoma fight. And if we get the Sphere of Light, as I've been kind of alluding to the whole time, the Zoma fight becomes almost trivial, I want to say. Almost. Not quite trivial, but I mean... pretty close, so... Alright, so these towns you saw, I've checked in Hawksness and Tantagle, they all have a couple checks. We really want the tower. The tower has the most treasure in it, but some of the caves have some treasure too, so... not this one, though. Not that one. Ah, this one will, though. Alright. There is a slight difference between the caves. This is called Mountain Cave. There's also Tablet Cave. They each have 5 treasure chests in them. However, this cave you can outside out of. Tablet Cave, hey, that's one of the things I needed. Tablet Cave, you cannot, because we're gonna end up finishing the game in Tablet Cave, so I don't want you outsiding out of there. In fact, no magic works in Tablet Cave. But we don't have the outside spell anyway, so that difference doesn't really matter. All the caves are the same. But if we did have the outside spell, I would usually lean slightly towards checking this cave instead of checking Tablet Cave, just because you can outside out of here. But because, as I mentioned, there's only 2 caves and a tower, there's a good chance that, you know, every location's gonna have something. Because there's so few locations, right? But that's the only kind of difference between these. This is a rehash also of the Dragon Warrior 1 Mountain Cave. If you're familiar with that game, this will look really familiar. It's interesting to me, though, because they did recreate the layout very, very much the same, almost exactly the same, but they put the treasure chest in a slightly different location. Not sure why. Doesn't really make a big difference, but... kind of seems like if you're going for the whole, you know, not copy, but rehash or remake. I guess it's a remake, not a copy, it's a remake of the original. You think you remake where the treasure chests are too, right? All the dungeon layouts, but anyway. Not particularly difficult to find where they are, the new locations are, but just always struck me as a little weird. Like, oh, I figured you just put them in the places they were in the original game, but okay. Well, there you go. Oh no, we got the Sphere of Light on here, huh? I was gonna say, is that another one where I say, oh, there's usually something everywhere, and this had nothing in it? No, it's had the Sphere of Light at the beginning, right? So that's one of the, technically not a required item, but one of the 4 items that we're gonna need for the end here. And also, you've noticed, of course, we haven't gotten a random encounter in forever, and again, we're not gonna, because the game doesn't want us to die, which is great, because I don't want us to die either, so me and the game are on the same page finally here. But that's one of the things. Again, there's just fewer content, right? There's only 2 caves and a tower to search, but at the same time, no random encounters really speeds things up a lot, right? So yeah, we're just gonna run through this and find the stuff, and hopefully be wrapping up shortly here, actually. Let's see what this is. Cantlin. Cantlin's a funny one because in this game, there's nothing there, right? Everyone in Cantlin is scared of all the monsters. So there's no shops open, there's nothing. There's an inn, I guess, in Cantlin, that's about it. And it's interesting, it's ironic because, hey, there's the tower that we're gonna go through and check for our stuff. It's interesting because in the original game, Dragon Warrior 1 game, Cantlin's got everything, right? It's got 2 item shops, it's got fairy waters, it's got 3 weapon shops in it, they sell keys in there too. But in this remake, you can't do anything. You stay at the inn. That's it. You can't do anything else. So it's kind of interesting that contrast is kind of interesting. Also, if you're familiar with the original game, the silver harp's one of the big items you're looking for. In this game, silver harp's useless, so we just throw it away if we find it. All right. Well, this is the Tower of Coal. And hopefully we can find at least the fairy flute here, because we need the fairy flute to get the to progress the story at the top of this tower. If we don't find the flute, that's okay. We'll just have to come back here later. Oh, I saw fairy and thought that was it, but it was the fairy water. Not that hard to come back here later on when we do have the fairy flute, especially because the encounters are turned off, right? So, but it would just be kind of convenient if we didn't have to come back here. You can see there's a lot of treasure chests here, so the other reason why I like to go through here is that you'll typically, hey, there it is. You'll typically find, hey, we'll trade 1 flute for another. You'll typically find a lot of your key items here. Oh, that's another one that I need. That's the Staff of Rain. The Staff of Rain's equipable, but we're about to lose it, so, to make the rainbow drop, so. Okay, so all of a sudden now we can complete the tower, we can climb the tower and complete that, so we don't have to come back here later, which is nice. Not a huge deal, but it's still nice. And then if we do, we have 2 more treasure chests left. If we find the Stone of Sunlight in one of those 2 treasure chests, then we're done. We don't have to go to Tablet Cave. We don't have to check. There are not that many towns left to check, actually. We don't have to check the other towns or anything. We're just ready to go. We saw the shrine where the old man will make the rainbow drop for us, so we'd just be ready to go if we were to find the Stone of Sunlight here. Otherwise, we'll just have to go through. There's only 1 more cave. And it's about as long as Mountain Cave was. Mountain Cave was not very long. So, yeah, that's why the second part of there's just less content in the second part of this game, right? So it's always quicker in the second part. That's why I say second part, not second half. Not the Stone of Sunlight. But that's okay. We'll still finish this. We'll still go to the top of the tower, get our sacred amulet, and be on our way looking for just 1 more key item, the Stone of Sunlight. I guess technically I need to locate Zoma's castle, but the, I don't know why I keep going to the key instead of using that open spell, but anyway. But the, but this dark world is, again, much smaller and usually pretty easy to locate stuff on, especially when there's no random encounters to get in the way of your exploring, right? So it's also really convenient. It's not just a time thing, but as I mentioned, I think we're pretty much all ready to go. We'll have a chance in Zoma's castle to top off the levels if we really want to, but we're pretty much ready to go, so it's not like we're losing experience. We're going to be super weak by the time we get to the end. You know, we should be mostly just fine. So missing out on the experience is not a problem. And in fact, at this point, we'd much rather go faster through this than worry about the experience, so. Okay, since I just mentioned it, this time I will use the open spell. It's a much faster menuing. I don't know why I've been so fixated on this magic key. We will have to get rid of some things that we have plenty of stuff to get rid of, though. So we can grab this sacred amulet that this, that Rubus, I think it's actually Rubus? This person's gonna give us. Oh yeah, it is actually Rubus. There's a lot of references to Rubus, or like Rubus's servants, or aides, or whoever's. I wasn't sure if that was actually Rubus, or like, you know, I am one of Rubus's handmaidens kind of thing. Okay, so now we are just exiting the tower. Here's another spot where if we had outside, we could just cast outside and be on our way. We don't, so we're walking. Not a huge deal, but again, you can see like quality of life sort of thing, right? It would have been kind of nice to just boop, outside, but nope. Nope. Oops, there we go. Those tiles are kind of funny. They mess with your directional movement and D-pad, but we're gonna see a bunch of in Zoma's castle, and there's a hilarious little story there, so we'll see that. Oh, well, there you go. There's Zoma's castle, so that was easy. One thing that's interesting, one thing that's worth pointing out, oh, look at where that cave ended up. I'm glad I checked. The cave ended up right by Zoma's castle. Cute. One thing that is worth pointing out is that we can walk to Zoma's castle from a town. That means that if we die in Zoma's castle, presumably to like Zoma himself or something, we can cast return, and we can cast return to one of the towns and just walk to Zoma's castle. Sometimes Zoma's castle can end up on an island. And if that's the case, it's a bit of a problem because in this current perpetual state of waiting, the boat that we started off on doesn't move when you cast return. So if Zoma's castle's on an island, the boat ends up stranded there, you have to turn the encounters back on to get, etc. So a little bit messy, but we will not see that here, fortunately. Well, hopefully we're not going to die, but we will not see that here regardless because we can walk to Zoma's castle from the town. So anytime you can do that, you kind of like it because even if you get killed, you can still just cast return and walk to the castle, back to Zoma's castle. Oh, okay. That Mimic not worth a lot of experience for the levels we're at, but apparently Glennard thought it was worth enough. Oh, I can't cast spells in here. I was gonna heal, but we just saw the Mimic couldn't, so. Yeah, all the spells are turned off because we're gonna end the game here, so. Is the Stone of Sunlight not here? There's some town checks that we could look at, but really? Ah, there it is, okay. I was gonna say highly likely that it's here, but highly likely is not the same as guaranteed. Okay, so that's everything we need. So, we are ready to go on our final boss rush here. Well, I shouldn't say boss, there's a boss rush at the end, but our final boss dungeon. So like I was saying earlier, we aren't going to be over 2. You know, 2 is the whole, like, you know, if you sub 2, you're really happy about the run. But this one's just tough with the item placement. It was going to be tough to go under 2, so 2 hours is like, okay, we did pretty good. 2.5 is the usual, and then if just absolute worst mess ever, I feel like even the worst mess, horrible, oh my gosh, what did the RNG do to me? I think you can still usually get in 3, usually. So that's kind of the general benchmarks, I think. Like, you're happy at 2, you're kind of expecting 2.5, and then 3, you're like, oh my god, that was a mess. But obviously with any seed, it's very variable. But let's see. I don't remember what town was over by that shrine, so I'm gonna walk it. Oh, there wasn't really any town by it. No wonder. Okay. Cool. So we have our rainbow drop. Let's wander over to Cantlin. So, of course, it's a minor thing, but of course, after saying Cantlin is useless, Cantlin actually does serve a purpose here. It's the town closest to Zoma's castle, so I can return to Cantlin and then walk to Zoma's castle. So that one is not quite a that's not at, and we could have walked there from almost anywhere on this dark world, but that's a little bit more of that reverse psychology, kind of, right? Cantlin is useless. Well, it does have a use here, actually, but it's a minor use. Like, if I had to return to, like, Tantagle and walk from there, we'd be fine. But still. Okay, so into the final boss, final castle, final dungeon we go. Now we're gonna see a couple of bosses we've got to get through, and they're the real, I want to say, bosses, I think. The first one coming up here, we're gonna have to fight 3 sets of Granite Titans, of 2 Granite Titans each. So 3 battles of 2 Granite Titans each, 6 total. Of course, the problem is they're completely randomized. So we've had some seeds where they're just complete jerks, and they have horrible abilities, and they're extremely difficult to get through. Most of the time, we have enough abilities, we have enough strength, we have enough weapons that we can just sort of chop them down or spell them to death or whatever. But, you know, if they roll some very unsavory abilities, could be tough. So we have no idea. We have not seen any of them yet. We're about to find out. We are about to find out what they're like. General strategy here to try. I'm going to see if we can expel them and just get rid of them and defeat them and see if we just get rid of them very quickly. No. Oh, okay. Now, they're casting spells they don't have the MP for, so that's not very bad at all. So I think we're just going to... They don't have much HP either. They don't attack. Okay, so they look fine. Any spells they have no MP for them. And their attack wasn't even that bad. So, okay. There's our strategy. Just attack. Hold A to win. Got it. Easy peasy strategy. So, of course, again, there's the worry, because like I was saying, we didn't know. They could have been pushovers. They could have been really difficult, but they look like they're pushovers, although we want to be careful. I've reverse psychologied enough stuff in this seed as is. They could have an ability we haven't seen yet, right? It's pretty classic where you think like, oh, no problem at all, this will be easy, and all of a sudden, the last set of Titans decides, you know what? Now would be a great time for sacrifice, or now would be a great time for blizzard breath, or now would be a great time to just generally kill you in some way you didn't know I could. Oh, well, apparently that's not going to happen here, but Viran just crit that one out, so that wasn't even an option. Alright, so there you go. There's our first hurdle done. Now, we still have 3 more mini-bosses to go. And those 3 more mini-bosses, who knows? Who knows? They could have nice abilities. They could have meh abilities. But we will see. There's kind of general strategy, the same kind of general strategies against those, right? Try to beat them or defeat them and then expel them, whatever. Now, this room always looks amazing because these tiles will change your direction, your D-pad all the time, and it looks terrible to route through. I've known this ever since I started the game, and so I feel, you know, back as a kid, all you do in this room is you hold up. You hold up and you walk through all of that. And I don't remember where that came from. I don't remember how I first learned that. I feel like there must be someone in the game that tells you that. Because, I don't know, as a, like 8-year-old kid or something playing this game, there's no chance I was sitting down with a pad of paper and being like, what do I have to push here? What do I have to push? I don't even want to do that now. So, somewhere, something must have told me to just push up, because I remember always, even as a kid, knowing that, like, oh yeah, that room you just push up. Like, don't know if something in here had it. Maybe the good old Nintendo Power told you that. I don't remember. But it came from somewhere. It came from somewhere, and where? Dunno. Somehow I've known that, like, ever since I ever started playing the game. Alright, this is a nice little funny scripted battle. This is where we finally find Ortega, and he's fighting this King Hydra, who we're gonna see as a pushover in a second. Here you go, okay. That battle is completely random, but in order to make it go faster, because in the regular game that could actually take a while, in order to make it go faster, Ortega has been nerfed in the randomizer to have 1 HP. So Ortega's got 1 HP, which means that something's happened in the first turn. Either Ortega will do like he did there and win, or the Hydra will kill him. Now, not always, because since it's randomized, they can do silly things with, like, you know, casting spells at each other that don't work and things like that. But the idea is that they give Ortega 1 HP, just hurry it along. And you see, regardless of whether Ortega wins or not, he's not going to join our party, so. Alright, we're in the final room. We haven't made it to the final boss quite yet, but we're in the final room. I was, like, joking about this, too, because Zoma's field sprite looks terrible. Looks like he's wearing a lampshade on his head. He's got some curtains on his, he's wearing some curtains as his robe. His necklace thing there is, like, train. And actually, when you get into battle with him, like, the battle sprite looks really cool. So, it's a kind of crazy, what do you want to call it? Contrast. How, like, silly his field sprite looks and how awesome his battle sprite looks. Alright, so the beat spell didn't work. The Hydra, you can see, not really a big deal. Even Ortega killed it easily. We're just gonna chop through. Usually, again, the Hydra's not a big worry. The next boss we're gonna stumble across is Bonus. Baramos Bonus. And typically he's got high defense, but very low HP. He usually gets some abilities that can be annoying, so we're gonna hope we can get rid of him on one go, and hope he doesn't use any of those, doesn't have any of those annoying abilities. But we're gonna hopefully, like, maybe do Expel or Beat. Hopefully those work. If not, we'll probably just have to, like, buy kill and hack through. Ah, there you go. That was easy enough. Don't have to worry about the defense if you just instant win. Simple enough, simple enough. Now, I still don't know about this, Sage's Stone, if it's any good or not, so I probably should have taken the opportunity to check it at some point, but, I didn't, so we'll see. I'm not sure I even need it, actually, honestly. Harley's HP has pretty much been okay, but there's Zoma waiting for us to just have one more required fight to go. We haven't taken that much damage yet, but let's see. Then let's try to get rid of this the fast way, too. Okay, that didn't really tell me anything. Hey, okay. So we expelled him. He's no problem at all. We are basically... oh, okay. It was a very bad... It didn't even heal us to full. Yikes. Okay, so that Sage's Stone is useless. Alright. Well, let's just win the game. Good thing we don't need it. Good thing I just said we shouldn't need it. So we're just gonna get set up here for this. Let me just see who has what. Our soldier's gonna be... Okay. So our soldier's gonna be throwing the Sphere of Light to nerf him, to weaken Zoma. Our hero's gonna preemptively cast Heal Us All, and then from there, we're gonna start throwing spells and hopefully winning. There's our preemptive Heal Us All. Don't want to forget the Sphere of Light. I have definitely done that before. There's not really much for you to do, so let's give you some additional, I don't know, let's do that. And I do want to put Barrier up, because he's got some annoying breath spells that he can do. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, we got Barrier first, actually. That's okay. That's not good, because I don't want the Heal Us All to go first, because then, of course, the whole point was we're supposed to get healed from that, so we're going to need to do that again. Whoops. We know that Snow Blast Sword hits for a lot. We can now hit Zoma. Now that he's been Sphere of Light, we can hit him with any spell our heart desires. Heal All, by the way, as always, Heal All will hurt him. So that's why I threw Heal All at him. And it does a pretty consistent amount of damage as well, so. I do want to keep Barrier up because he has... Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's just... We have a Snow Blast Sword on him, too. Let's just use that. Because he does have a potentially annoying breath spell that he can... attack that he can use even when he's Sphere of Lighted. So... Ow. Okay. The soldier getting killed is not a big deal. I mean, I guess he did have the Snow Blast Sword, but, you know, whatever. Again, in this battle, the spell's the really big thing, right? So, and there we go. So you can see why I didn't really care much about strength. Every attack on Zoma was a spell, or that sword. So, spell's the way to go, and we will clean this up and be out of here. So as we flee Zoma's castle, as we kill Zoma and Zoma's castle, everything starts blowing up, and we fall right into Tablet Cave. Well, I guess we get spewed into Tablet Cave is probably a better way to put that. But here we are in Tablet Cave. We're gonna go out what we call the pro way. Obviously, we could walk out that little... No, we're opening the door and go the pro way through there. This is why the game didn't want us to cast spells, because if we could cast spells, you could outside through this amazing animation right here. You can't miss this lore. Look at this. Oh, it collapsed. Oh, no. That's why that back room isn't in the original game, because it collapsed here. Oh, okay. Wouldn't want to miss that. So this is why they don't let you outside, right? They want you to see that. And there's a tiny little, like, bit of well, there's a little dialogue when we leave the cave, but they didn't want us to miss that big reveal that Tablet Cave ends up just the way we see it in Dragon Warrior 1, so... Now, there's still one more very, very, very important thing to do in this game. Extremely important thing to do in this game. Cannot win without doing it. And it has to do with our little friend that we saw in Tantagle earlier. Mentioned he was going to be very integral to the game, and he absolutely will be. So, I was wandering around this dark world because I really like, they have a lot of references, a lot of callbacks to the original game, and a lot of the dialogue that the NPCs have in this remade Dragon Warrior 1 world is really cool. So one time I went around and just talked to everybody just to see what they said. A lot of really neat, like I said, a lot of really neat callbacks and Easter eggs and stuff. But by far the best one is that when you win, all of the animals, when you talk to them, will go hip hip whatever. Like their horses, they'll go hip hip nay. And so we have over here, easily the best NPC I've ever encountered. Our favorite cat, who hip hip meows. Hip hip meow. Hip hip meow. Hip hip meow. The best NPC ever. Hip hip meow. I always joke, I never wish I was part of any meeting, but I so wish I was part of the meeting where they're like, what should we have this cat say? I know. It always cracks me up that that's what they went with, hip hip meow, and it stayed in there, and it got in there. Maybe they didn't even know. Maybe someone just programmed it in and was like, you know what? This cat's saying hip hip meow, and I don't care. They'll never know. I like to think that, but... And then here's the big reveal. Oh my gosh! We're actually Erdrick! No way! Whoa, cool! Anyway, so there we go. So there's our Dragon Warrior 3 Caturday Seed of, or not Seed of the Week, it usually is Seed of the Week. Our race for RGLtv. You get a little cutscene here that, again, I don't even know what it looks like when you're not a cat. It's very confusing to even think you could not be a cat here. And the king decides to hold a cat parade in order to celebrate, which, honestly, how else would you ever celebrate? Seriously. If you're not celebrating with the cat parade, you just don't even know what you're doing. Do not even know what you're thinking if you're gonna celebrate without a cat parade. Simply ridiculous. Alright, so that is going to be our race. Yeah, so I don't know if I think, yeah, everyone else, we're all done, right? So I don't know if there's much else to do other than to say thank you to RGLtv for letting us race this year. Thank you to Vriaeliss for setting this up. Thank you to Zatrex for joining us as well. And, sure, I guess we're going to call it a morning there. But thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. We, apparently do this every Saturday morning, or most Saturday mornings. And, there are many of us, or several of us that do it throughout the week, but, plenty more to be found if you enjoyed the shenanigans. I feel like that was a relatively low amount of shenanigans, but definitely plenty of shenanigans to go around. But thank you, everybody, for hosting us, for having us, and hope you enjoyed. And have a great rest of the weekend. Have a great rest of the week, rest of the gauntlet, I mean.